Hey man, most guys have no idea that the very thing they've been told to suppress, their calmness, their stillness, their unshakable presence, is exactly what triggers something deep and primal in a woman. Not the loud guy, not the performer, not the constant texter, the emotional explainer, the man who tries to prove his worth through excessive attention, but the one who's quiet, centered, controlled, the one who doesn't chase chaos but stands like a mountain in the middle of it. That man doesn't just attract her, he moves her. Because calmness, real calmness, not forced silence, but masculine groundedness, communicates a kind of power that doesn't need to speak. And that silence, that subtle control, that's what ignites her deepest desires. Calmness tells her, I'm not here to impress, I'm here to observe. You don't need to prove yourself, because your very presence proves it. When a woman feels you're calm, she feels something stable, something ancient, a presence that doesn't rise and fall with her mood swings, a man who listens without the need to interrupt, a man who leads without needing to dominate. She feels her own energy slow down around you, and that slowing down, that grounding, it's a turn on in a way she doesn't even fully understand, because it tells her you're not reacting to her, you're holding her. And in that containment, her feminine energy melts. Most men try to excite her with movement, words, plans, compliments, attention. But you excite her by being still, not in action, still in power. When she talks, you don't jump in, you don't fix, you don't rush, you just watch. You breathe, you listen, you respond slowly, intentionally. And that slowness, that restraint, it's intoxicating. It builds tension, it makes her feel like she's earning your energy. And women crave that, not because they want a challenge, but because they want to feel the gravity of a man who doesn't hand himself out like emotional candy. That calmness, that's what makes your presence unforgettable. Calmness is a mirror. When you stay composed, when you don't rise to the bait, when you maintain emotional clarity, even in the middle of her chaos, she starts seeing herself through your lens. She starts realizing that the drama, the testing, the emotional outbursts don't move you. And in that moment, something inside her shifts. Her respect grows, her voice softens, her guard drops. Not because she feels defeated, but because she feels safe. And safety, real masculine safety, is what unlocks her sensuality, her softness, her true feminine nature. All of it triggered by your calm. When you're calm, you become unpredictable in the best way. She doesn't know what you're thinking. She can't read you like she can read every other man who stumbles over himself to impress her. Your mystery grows, and with mystery comes fantasy. She starts filling in the blanks with curiosity. She starts imagining you in moments she hasn't lived with you yet. She wonders what it would be like if you lost control, because you never do. And that anticipation, that wonder, it becomes craving. She chases not because you gave her a reason, but because you didn't. Your calmness builds contrast, and contrast is what burns memories into the heart. She might talk to a dozen men, but they all feel the same, available, predictable, emotionally hyperactive. But then there's you, the man who doesn't rush, who pauses before he speaks, who walks into a room and changes its rhythm. That contrast makes her stop. It makes her lean in. It makes her feel like she's in the presence of someone who doesn't just exist, but dominates the moment without needing to dominate her. Calmness is the ultimate form of self-control, and nothing is more attractive than a man who is in control of himself. Your emotions, your reactions, your tone, your posture, it all speaks before your words ever do. When you walk into her world and refuse to be swayed by the highs and lows, when you stay grounded, even when she's uncertain, you create a container for her to open up. That opening, that emotional surrender, that's what she's been looking for, not a man to fix her. A man to hold space for her while she finds herself. That's the deepest form of seduction, being the anchor she never saw coming. Let's be real, calmness also creates respect, because now you're no longer participating in emotional performance. You're choosing which battles are worth your energy. You're not triggered by every test. You're not explaining yourself constantly. You don't let her mood become your direction. And that resistance to chaos, that refusal to be manipulated, it earns her admiration. You've stopped being the boy who reacts and become the man who leads. And the man who leads with silence is remembered far longer than the man who shouted to be heard. Your calm also makes her feel like she's working for you, not because you asked her to, but because your presence is so composed, so selective, so non-needy, that she starts realizing you're rare. You don't flinch when she's moody. You don't chase when she pulls away. You simply observe. You stay grounded in your life, your habits, your mission, and she's drawn to that. Because now you're not looking for her to complete you. You're inviting her to join you. And joining a man who is emotionally self-sufficient is a deeper kind of intimacy than any romantic gesture can ever offer. And the more she's around your calm, the more she starts to crave it. She starts associating your energy with safety, with masculinity, with leadership. Even when she's not with you, she compares how she feels around others to how she felt in your stillness. That nervous system memory, it doesn't fade, it lingers, it makes her restless. Because deep down, she doesn't want to feel constantly entertained. She wants to feel held. She wants to feel like she can fall apart, and you'll still be standing. That image, that anchor, is what makes her desire you without understanding why. Your calmness also separates you from every man she's ever known. Because most guys talk too much, react too fast, and try too hard. They confuse movement for power. They confuse noise for presence. But the man who is calm, he walks into a room like he belongs there. He doesn't look for permission. He doesn't compete for attention. He simply exists, rooted, grounded, deliberate. And that presence, that quiet dominance, makes her body respond before her mind catches up. It's not your muscles. It's not your clothes. It's that controlled energy radiating off you like heat. She feels safe and stimulated at the same time. That's a rare combination. That's what she longs for. The more calm you are, the more intense her emotional reaction becomes. Because your stillness acts as an amplifier. She starts to feel everything more. Your touch feels stronger. Your silence feels louder. Your eye contact feels heavier. Not because you're doing more, but because you've learned how to do less with more power. She's not falling for the man who tells her everything she wants to hear. She's falling for the man who makes her feel everything without saying a word. That's how desire is built. Not in explanation, but in sensation. And here's where it gets real. When she experiences your calm in conflict, she realizes she can't control you, that her storms don't scare you, that her tests don't move you. And in that realization, she relaxes. She lets go of control because she finally trusts your leadership. You're not battling her emotions, you're absorbing them and transmuting them into safety. That's not just attractive, that's healing. You've now become the man she never knew she needed, not because you did everything right, but because you didn't lose yourself when she lost herself. That kind of emotional resilience, that's unforgettable. Your calmness doesn't just turn her on, it trains her, it resets her standards. After you, she can't go back to emotionally unstable men. She can't fall for the reactive guy. She can't tolerate the anxious texter, the overtalker, the insecure lover, because now she's tasted emotional power. Now she knows what it feels like to be around a man who moves slow, speaks soft, and carries the room without trying. And she'll chase that energy again and again, not because you told her to, but because you became it. Calmness also gives her space to rise. When you're not emotionally cluttering the dynamic, she has room to be her feminine self, to be expressive, emotional, wild. She can unravel and know you won't judge her. She can explore her own emotional world, knowing there's a man who doesn't need to fix her, but who simply witnesses her without crumbling. That makes her feel powerful and safe at the same time. That dynamic, that balance, that's what makes her desire go from momentary to obsessive. And once she's felt the power of your calm, once she's seen how you carry yourself without needing anything from her, she starts to compete for your attention. She starts showing up more feminine, more intentional, more nurturing. Not because you asked her to, but because she wants to earn a place in your world. Your calmness forces her to be better, because now she doesn't want to disrupt the peace you've built. She wants to be invited into it. That shift is when her desire stops being about fun and starts becoming about devotion. Let's be clear, calmness doesn't mean passive, it means powerful, without being performative. It means quiet, but not timid. When you pair your calm with confidence, your silence with direction, your softness with strength, that's when she feels magnetized to you. That's when she chases. That's when she offers more than she asks for. Because now, your energy isn't just desirable, it's rare. And the rarest energy always becomes the most irresistible. She'll test it at first. She'll try to shake you. She'll try to pull you into her emotions. But when you stay in your seat, when you stay grounded, relaxed, breathing slowly, saying less but meaning more, she begins to trust you with her heart. That's what every woman wants beneath the surface. Not excitement, not flash. Security. A man who won't break under pressure. A man who can guide her emotions without suppressing them. That man, that's you. If you can hold your center when the winds pick up. So the next time you feel yourself rushing, over-talking, reacting to win her over, pause, breathe, step back into yourself, let your calm lead, let your silence teach, let your body language, your posture, your stillness speak before your mouth ever opens. That's how you speak to her nervous system. That's how you bypass her logic and go straight to her instincts. And those instincts, that's where real desire lives. Because in the end, bro, it's not about being louder, funnier, richer, or flashier. It's about being calmer, being so calm that she feels like she can fall apart in your arms and nothing around her will collapse. That's the man she desires. That's the man she respects. That's the man she chooses. Not because you begged her to, but because you reminded her, without words, what true masculine presence actually feels like.